Hi guys, Cyborgmatt here at the StarLadder Season 9 offline finals. I'm joined here by Arteezy from Evil Geniuses. Now, you just played up against Navi. It looked like a difficult game. We saw you playing Outworld Destroyer, and you put Eternal Envy on Mirana. Is that something you guys planned in advance? Is that something you've been testing?
Yeah, if you noticed during the draft, as soon as the game started, we banned 2 heroes, they banned 2 heroes, so we both knew exactly what we were doing. And then we insta-picked the 2 Bane Potom, which we planned before the game. And then it took them a while to think of what to do next. So yeah, we had a little strategy prepared.
I mean, is that something you can kind of use again, or do you think these teams are going to wise up really quickly about that?
The thing is, we have a multitude of strategies like that, so it's just more team-specific. Certain strategies are better than others. So you can, I guess you can ban the Potom early on if you want, but we have another strategy in mind if they decide to ban the Potom, because then it leaves a hero that they usually ban unbanned.
So did you guys actually get to practice with Eternal Envy before you flew over here, or was it just super last minute?
It was super YOLO. We didn't practice at all. Like, we barely practice as it is, but with Eternal Envy, he had to prepare for D2CL finals, so we didn't practice whatsoever. We practiced, as soon as we arrived in Kiev, we practiced the night against DK.
Okay. Now, so up until what seemed like the very last minute, Fear was supposed to attend, and unfortunately with his injury, you had to ask Cloud9 to use Eternal Envy. Yeah. In terms of you know, these past couple months or so, not being able to play with Fear, you know, how has that reflected on the team? Have you guys been struggling without that? Has he been helping? Has he been leading from like behind the scenes?
It's definitely been like a struggle, but at the same time, when we use a new stand-in like Mason, we learn certain things because they have different hero pools. So eventually Fear, hopefully he'll come back, and then we'll have a broad range of playstyles. Like with Envy, we're learning we can use Luna more often, Doom, safe lane, and with Mason we learn Storm and stuff like that. So I think in the end it makes for a greater team, but it's very unfortunate that Fear couldn't play with us. On the day that we were supposed to, like we were practicing on the day that we were leaving, and then Fear said, I can't play like this, and like stuff like that. We're like, oh God, what do we do? So we had to, like, we had under 3 hours to find a stand-in. So yeah, it was rough.
Now, when I spoke to you at Columbus, you were playing as a stand-in, and you were considering a full-time career in Dota 2. Was that kind of like the kickstart? Was MLG the Kickstarter that said, that's it, I think it's time to start playing full-time?
I always thought I could actually do it, but then other people thought, like, it's kind of like I knew I could do this if I put my heart to it, and then I proved that I could do it as a stand-in, and then I just like fueled my fire to win. So I guess it was like a catalyst. It just increased the rate that I play Dota. It showed my parents definitely that I actually want to play, and they, ever since MLG, they've been always following all my games, supporting me. I got a text from my parents as soon as I won. That's pretty wonderful. That's
really good to hear. Now, so what is your situation back home with like school and everything? You know, where does this leave you and your current future?
Basically, for every LAN I attend, I'm missing a quiz or a test, but I try to make up for it with my teachers. I always tell them where I'm going in advance, and some teachers, they like very lenient. They don't mind as long as I complete the work when it's due, which I often have to do early because, yeah, just got to do it early. And but some teachers, they really don't want me not like to attend class and just do work whenever I want, and just come up to like every I show up to class like once a week and just give them the homework, and that's it. They really don't like that. So it's kind of hard to manage while being high school and pro Dota, but I feel like I can really do well in Dota this year, so I'm prioritizing it over school, I guess. I'd say if I was to put on a scale, I think I have Dota at a 6 and school at a 4.
So are you planning, so after this semester, this year is finished for you at school, how long have you actually got left? And then are you actually planning on putting school on hold maybe?
Yeah, I think I talked to my parents a lot about it, what I want to do, if it's economy, like I can make money, enough money off it. I decided I would take a year off after I finish high school. I would sign up for fall 2016 for my next semester.
So how long does it actually leave you left now at school?
I have 2 months left.
Okay, so just kind of, it's going to be quite lapping with obviously this year's international.
There's a lot of LAN tournaments, and I'm going to miss a lot of classes, so it's affecting my grades severely, but I feel like YOLO, so.
I mean, as a team, you guys have been quite, you know, victorious. You won a lot of tournaments recently and started racking up quite a bit of money. So if that continues, you're perfectly happy, fine, just to put everything on hold and go full-time Dota 2.
Yeah, my parents' concerns are not about the money really. It's just what I plan to do after I'm done with Dota. That's what they're just thinking long term. But I told them Dota will probably last for like 10 years for me or more, depending on my success. And there's always going to be a job after Dota. You can just coach or something like that. And who knows how advanced esports will be in the future.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So now the situation with Thea, obviously we're quickly approaching this year's international. As a team, are you guys worried about your invite chances or anything regarding that?
Honestly, I'm not too worried about our invite. I think regardless, we're proving that we can still play even with a stand-in. And theoretically, I think if with a stand-in, we're supposed to perform weaker. And when Fear comes back, we should play better. So I think it's just like each team goes through a rough hurdle. And it's just how the team comes out of it is what it's impressive. So if Valve spots that, I think we'll definitely receive an invite.
Okay. Now, so obviously with you being a full-time team and everything like that, would you say you're playing the most Dota you've ever played in your entire career so far?
I guess so. This is my first pro team. This is the first team I'm putting a lot of effort in. Like for stand-in for speed gaming, I really didn't prepare for drafts at all. I just I told them my hero pool, and they had made strategies around it. But this team, I'm always actively participating in the draft, telling them what I think, what the team's gonna pick. Like every night, me, PPD, and like a few other teammates, we just always like go through drafts and everything, just bond and also learn about other teams.
So you can definitely feel yourself improving and getting better every week, basically.
Yeah, I feel like as time goes on, we're only going to get stronger.
So looking at 6.8 and specifically the mid-roll, in your setup with an EG, you've been playing a lot of like farm-heavy heroes, and that's kind of suit your style. What is your general opinion on this version of Dota? Are you pretty happy with it so far?
I think this version's really good competitively, but pub it's like terrible. But the reason why it's strong competitively is each team has its own style. I'd say each team has its own mid heroes which they play, safe in heroes which they play, and like support heroes. I guess some teams pick Sand King a lot, some don't. So there's no like clear cut of which heroes and compositions are strong, but there are a few. So like there are a few OP heroes like Lycan, Ember, and stuff like that. But for pubs, I think it's the worst patch ever. It's like terrible at every game, like in every game. It's really awful.
I mean, do you see yourself playing like less pubs now, more like as an American team? Do you guys find it hard to get scrims, or do you don't really mind? I know servers play into it quite a lot when you come to these tournaments. Whether you have to play in Luxembourg or US East. Do you try and scrim on a European server to try and deal with that? How have you been coping with the delay?
Last year it was a lot worse because there's a lot of online tournaments and you have to play Luxembourg a lot. This year there's more LANs to look forward to. So we try to just deal with the ping because we know as long as we just get through the Luxembourg game, maybe come out a win, like we can still advance to the LAN final, and that's when it actually matters. But I feel like we don't practice as much because a lot of teams only play Luxembourg, and I find that there's no point of us playing Luxembourg right now because we have 3 Western people, so it's like we're playing at severely disadvantage. So we, instead of practicing sometimes over the choice of playing on Luxembourg, we either go east, so if we can't go east, then we just go we just theorycraft in Skype together, what like teams pick and stuff like that. That's basically all we did to prepare for this LAN because we couldn't find any opponents to play. So if we couldn't play on East, then we just theorycrafted.
Okay. So would you say it's more of a struggle to find like a strong American team to scrim against? Is that something the American scene needs to look to try and work on? I know Liquid recently picked up Demon, and they want to obviously improve their chances for TI4. When all you have to choose from is someone like Liquid and maybe eHug and a couple teams like that, do you find it's less beneficial to you guys?
At this, yes and no, because teams like eHug, I think there's no point of playing them because they're not the same level. Obviously, no offense, but Liquid, we can, even though they're not as strong as us, I still think we can try different strategies like against them, like support rating, stuff like that. Just try out stuff that we were theory crafting about. So I think Liquid is still a team we can scrim and like confidently try out strategies.
So you spoke about offline tournaments. Obviously, I guess that's everyone's priority right now. When it comes to after this year's international and things start to quiet down a bit, would you guys ever consider also maybe like a relocate, or are you pretty happy with the EG setup you have right now?
I think, of course, it's better to play as a team, a boot camp every now and then, but living together, I think I think we're all not interested in that kind of stuff. I think just boot camping occasionally is just good enough, because I find living with the person you work with is really shitty, to put it lightly.
Okay. So, did you actually, I know you were at the EG house just before attending here. How long were you actually there for?
I was there for 4 days or 3 days, something like that, and we just played and chilled the whole time there.
Was it beneficial to you guys? Do you think it helped?
Absolutely not. Like, it did not help at all. I spent like at least 2 of those days playing low priority queue only, because Fear's arm hurt too much, and like we just had other obligations at the time. So I just actually spent like 8 hours a day playing low priority. Like, I got to the last game of my low priority queue thing, and then I went AFK for a couple minutes. I come back, I got 6 games again. Okay. So it's just lovely.
Well, thank you, Arteezy. Before I let you go, obviously, do you have some sponsors you want to thank?
Oh yeah, shout out to my sponsors, Monster, HyperX, Cyberpower, PlanetSide 2, Razer, and BenQ.
All right, best of luck for the tournament. Thank you, Arteezy.